Madafferi, welcome to another Monday morning musing webinar. I hope you're having a great Monday morning. It's a little bit dark in here. I've actually got my big window shut down today. It's very hot here in Melbourne, but that's okay because you don't actually need to see me. You need to watch the PowerPoint. So I'm going to share the screen, bring the PowerPoint up. I will have a chat box up. So here's my little chat box. So if anyone who has joined us, please feel free to ask any questions whatsoever. So I'm going to get the slideshow going and let's get started. So welcome to another Monday morning musing. For those who don't know me, I'm Sandra Madafferi and I am a business mentor and coach, and I work with business owners primarily in the service industry, but I do have other business owners who sell products that we work on mindset and strategy together. And the last couple of weeks I have been speaking a lot about mindset, and only because I find that you can have all the strategies, the best strategies in the world, the absolute best strategies in the world. If you don't have the right mindset, the strategies don't get implemented to their full potential. And the reason for that is because 95% of what we do every single day, 95% of our behavior is all run by our unconscious mind. So what tends to happen is that you know, if your mindset isn't right, if you're feeling anything that, you know, not at your optimum level, then you actually don't perform your those behavioral strategies that you need for your business at your optimum level. So the last few weeks I have been looking quite a bit at us as the business owner, as the business person, and even if you have employees, if you have people that work for you, the same thing tends to happen. If you don't have your personal stuff in order, you find that you just don't perform at your optimum level in business. And one of the ways that shows up is in distractions. So the funny thing is that we all see distractions. I hear it all the time. I don't have enough time. I can't do that. There's not an hour of my day to do that. I'm so busy running my business. And I used to hear this also many years ago when I was working as a business strategist and a bookkeeper. And I'd go out to implement, business and accounting packages in businesses, and the owners would say, I don't have time to learn that. But the thing was that once they actually realized that they needed to put a little bit of time into it, that, you know, their business would run a lot better. But what happens is we do have things that distract us, and they tend to be external distractions, and that's what we allow to dictate what we do every single day. So let's go ahead and have a look at some of these distractions. Okay, so here's all the usually distractions come up as all the reasons why we can't do something. And, you know, like I said, we look outside of ourselves. My boss, this is one I hear all the time, especially for people that are in corporate, that are wanting to start their own business. If my boss finds out, you know, when I say to them about jumping on social media, getting a little bit, you know, more out there, and they go, I can't, my boss will get upset. Okay. The other one is emails. I see so many people waste so much time sitting on their emails all day. LinkedIn. Yeah, people sit on LinkedIn scrolling. Kids, my kids get in the way. I haven't got time. I'm too busy with kids. Instagram is another great distraction. Text messages is another great distraction. Going to the gym, I've got to go to the gym. I haven't got time for that. Facebook is, for me, used to be the ultimate distraction. Friends, you know, my friends, my parents, Twitter, work, it just keeps going on and on and on and on. But distractions are an inside job. What do I mean by that? For something outside of yourself to distract you from what you have to do in your business, you're allowing it. Now, yes, I do get it. things happen, and I'm not talking about emergency situations here or anything like that, but what I'm talking about is a day-to-day running of your business. If you will let any of these things, plus probably a multitude more of things that might come up for you to distract you, it is because you are allowing it. Just a couple of the things that I do to stop my distractions is when I sit down to actually do some serious work, whether it's to, do some training, whether it's to write a course or anything like that. And it goes to say, without saying, when I jump on a call with my clients, I switch everything off. Everything off. And the only thing that will take me out of a training or anything like that that's important is that would have to be an emergency. I do not answer I switch Facebook down. I switch my emails off. My phone, if I have it next to me, it can ring, it can text. The only time I will ever answer my phone or anything like that would have to be my children or my husband. Everything else stops. I plan everything in my day. We're going to talk a little bit more about this in a moment, and everything gets shut down. The other thing that is really, really important when it comes to distractions is that when you wake up in the morning, and I said this a few weeks ago when we spoke about routines, I do not jump on my mobile phone for at least 2 hours in the morning. I do not get on Facebook. I do not check my emails. I spend the first couple of hours of my day looking after me to set myself up for the day. But what tends to happen, and I see it all the time with business owners, especially people that are feeling a little bit like they're feeling all coming a little bit from slack, thinking, I need to check what my clients, I need to get this, private message back. I need to DM this person. And you know what? The problem is it never shuts off. People are constantly working on the weekends, constantly on social media on the weekends, and it never switches off. So you need to make time for these things in your planner. Once I have my 2 hours, the first thing I do is jump on social media, check social media in the morning, check all my emails, and then I don't look at it again until halfway during the day. Okay, so when it comes to distractions, if you're being distracted externally, it's actually internally, because there's something going on for you that you're allowing yourself to get distracted, and we're going to have a look at that. So here are 3 of the reasons why you would have or allow distractions to happen. One is a values clash, and we'll look at that a little bit more, fears, and limiting beliefs. Okay, and again, for those of you that are watching, are on this webinar at the moment, because there's a few of you on here, please do reach out and ask any questions that you would like me to answer, okay? So distractions are also known as self-sabotage. You are sabotaging yourself because there is some underlying issue that you are allowing to pull you away from what you actually need to do in your business. Okay, let's have a look at values clash first. This is by no means everything, but pretty much most of what happens or where we are in our life fits under these 6 categories: personal development, family and friends, relationships, and that's a significant relationship, career and money, health and fitness, and spiritual development. I spoke a little bit about this in last week's Monday Morning Musing, but if you have a clash between 2 opposing areas in your life, you will sabotage yourself and you will look for distractions so that you do not fulfill what you need to fulfill in your business. The easiest way to explain this, one that happened to me, was I don't have time to look after my health. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to, to cook healthy food because I've got to run a business. So that was not the case at all. It was just that because I had different priorities at the time and I needed to spend as much time in my business as I could when I first started, because I was a one-man show. I let my health and fitness go. But once you get and understand this, you can actually begin to plan out how you can fit everything in. Another great one here is women who have children, who have small children, especially mumpreneurs, who sabotage themselves because they're worried, unbeknownst to them, because a lot of this is very, very unconscious, but they sabotage themselves in their business because they have this fear that if they create a very successful business, that they will not have time to dedicate to their children, and their children are their top priorities. So it's not about one being better than the other. It's not about one taking over the other. It's about becoming fully aware and understanding this. And then once you do that and you become fully aware, it's about planning so that you can have a balance between both. So I guess one of the things I'd like you to ask yourself, if you do procrastinate, if you sabotage, if you're always finding excuses why you can't do what you need to do in your business, have a look at whether it is a values clash. Fears is the next one. Fears is a massive one. We have lots of unconscious fears when it comes to our business. And because of those unconscious fears, we allow them to actually sabotage us and take us away from what we want to do. Because you know what? If you never finish that program, if you never finish writing that ebook, if you never finish writing that webinar, you never have to present it. So you can't be criticized or judged in any way. So we have fears, and whatever those fears are, they stop us from doing what we need to do. So number one, all value clashes are based in fear or lack. So if you have a value clash as a fear that you're going to take away from one area because of the other area, and you have, competing priorities here, and you need to sort of, and I'm not saying that one should, like I said before, that one is more important than the other. You just need to find a balance that is happy for you. Fears are usually based on past failures. So if you've had past failures in your business, you will sabotage and find distractions to stop you from being able to move forward. Fear of the future can also be one. What if it did work? And we spoke about fears last week when it came to in Monday Morning Musing webinar. And fears are multi-leveled, but usually what happens with a fear is because you have a sense of losing something. You think that whether you fail, and there's no such thing as failure, just feedback. But if things don't work out the way you want, you're going to feel some sort of pain. Or if you do get what you want, you're going to lose something. Either way, you're going to lose something. So fears are based on you losing something. So again, have a look at those fears. Where are they coming from? Again, they're not right or wrong, and they're not for judgment. They're just for you to understand. The more you become aware, the more you understand who you are as a person, the more you're going to understand why you do what you do in your business, because it's not separate. I often see people thinking that, they can leave who they are at the door when they walk into their office and become this new person to run their business. But you are who you are. And if something is showing up and not quite working in your business, it will be showing up and not quite working in another area of your life as well. So let's have a look at some possible symptoms of whether you are suffering from self-sabotage and these fears of distraction, okay? If you're constantly searching for inspiration and ideas, okay, so you feel that what you already know or have is not enough, constantly looking for more, you could be self-sabotaging yourself. If you're over planning, this is something that I see all the time. I often have clients that come to me who want to release programs, And they've often written the programs to the nth degree before they even have anyone booked into it or even have launched it. Now, the problem is that you don't even know if anyone's going to buy that program, but they're constant, and you don't know if something is going to work until you put it out there. So you overplan and it actually stops you because you'll always find something wrong with it. And that brings me to perfectionism. Perfectionism is the greatest distraction when it comes to business. It's not perfect enough, but you know what? You will never know if something, there's no such thing as perfect anyway, but you will never know how good something is or isn't until you beta test it, until you put it out there, until you trial and test it. And you know what? We're tweaking all the time. Some of the trainings that I did 3 years ago, I do, not completely different, of course, not same material, same course material. I teach the same thing, but the way I do it is slightly different because you tweak and change and perfect and move and do everything you need to do as you go along. You're not committed to anything. So you chop and change from here to there, from here to there, and go looking at this and start this program and then go and buy that training and then go and do this training and never get any diplomas, never finish anything, never be committed to anything that you do, not consistent on social media, not consistent in everything that you do. These Monday morning musing webinars I've started in March and they have been fantastic. I love doing them every single Monday, and it has given me so much material for me to use in other areas, but I've committed to it, and now I make sure that I do it every single Monday morning at 10 a.m. So people that like to self-sabotage themselves without realizing they're doing it are not committed to what they need to do. They find different reasons why they can't do that, or they need to move on to the next shiny object. They have no consistency either. So this is a big one. I see people that jump on in their business on social media, and then, they get on social media consistently for a couple of weeks, a month, a couple of months, and then they disappear. Now, business is consistency. And you know what? Things are not going to always happen in 12 weeks. 6 months, 12 months. In actual fact, I remember years ago, one of the things that I found out when I was working as a business strategist, we didn't have social media, we didn't have any of those sorts of things, was that I found out that it takes 5 years to establish a really sustainable business. If you can, if you're still in business after 5 years, you're going to pretty much survive. So people give up really, really quickly. And one of the things that I see all the time is people, they start a niche, they work on that niche for 3 months, or they get onto a 3-month coaching program or something, and they try and push through a niche in those 3 months, and then it doesn't work because they're still in establishment phase, and they quit, or they start a different niche, and then they wonder why they don't have clients. But because there's no consistency. You need time for people to get to know you. You need to be able to build connection in business, and especially in online business. So if you're not consistent with what you're doing, there could be a reason for it underlying the fact that you're not consistent. And, you're constantly defining who you are. I can't do this because I'm a mum. I can't do that because of this reason. You're constantly defining yourself and why you can't do all these things. So you're letting all these reasons get in the way. I can't use social media. I haven't got time, all these sorts of things. But you know what? If you can't use social media, you can find someone to help you. If you really want to do something, one of the biggest things that I've learned in the last few years working with online entrepreneurs is that if you really want to get something done, you will find a way, and the excuses will just fall away. And also the other big one is we have limiting beliefs, and a lot of the times we're not aware of these limiting beliefs, but some of the ones that we can have is I can't do this. You actually believe that you can't become the business owner that you really want to become, the business owner that, you know, started your business, who had these goals, who had these dreams. And so what happens there is that, you know, you have this thing in your head saying, I can't do it. So you stop yourself on an unconscious level doing it. The imposter syndrome. I'm a fraud. Everyone's better than me. I don't know what I'm doing. All those sorts of things. And this is where it's really important that you do not jump on social media in the mornings before you get yourself in a state, in a really good state to face your day with your business. Because what happens is you jump on and, you know, let's face it, how many people jump on social media and tell you how terrible their business is, or how much they're struggling behind the scenes, or how difficult they're finding it? Nobody does that. You know, you might find someone who says it about the way they were, but who actually jumps ever on social media and shows the struggles? Not very many people. So you jump on first thing in the morning, you wake up in the morning, you know, you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I've got another day, I've got to go and find leads, and I've got to do this and I've got to do that in my business. And the first thing you do is pick up your mobile phone and you start scrolling through Facebook, and you see testimonials and you see people talking about how amazing they are, and they're walking along doing this live, what a fantastic life they have. And of course you're going to go, oh, I can't do this. I'm not as good as them. And it's really interesting because in my groups this week I spoke a little bit about client psychology. And one of the things that I have seen with a really clever coach is that he wakes up very early in the morning and he actually puts up a post every single morning, a testimonial post on his Facebook page. So, because he knows people are searching, they wake up in the morning and they will be scrolling through their phone, and there's a testimonial post from one of his clients. And because of the way you feel in the morning when you get up, if you haven't gotten your state into check, is you'll go, I need to do that. Why can't I have that? Okay, so be really, really aware, because, you know, you don't have to be, this is something one of my mentors said to me years ago, because guys, I've suffered from all of this stuff too. The masterminders who work with me, my VIPs who work with me closely for 12 months, know that I don't teach anything that I haven't already gone through or done, and I've done it all. And I used to, you know, this is one that I used to do. I'd wake up in the morning and think, oh, I can't do this because look how much this person knows and I don't know that. And one of my mentors said to me once, you don't need to be better than everyone else. You just need to know more than the people you are serving. And that's exactly right. Because you know what? We will never know everything, and we can never know everything. And, you know, having that little bit of what can I learn from other people is really good, because being open constantly to be able to look and see and learn from others is a great way to develop yourself anyway. This is another one. No one's going to buy off me. I don't deserve this. This is a big one. This is a massive one, worthiness issue that people don't realize, but it stops you. If you really believe that you are not worthy or don't deserve success or the money that's going to come from your business, you will sabotage yourself. You just don't show up. And I've seen it with people in sales calls. I've actually trained people to do sales calls for their businesses, and it is incredible how they stop themselves from selling. And this minute the potential client on the other end has an objection, they just pull away because they feel they don't deserve it. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to go back. They feel they don't deserve it. And the other thing that's just popped into my head is they also want to be, and this is a massive one, they want to please people. They want to be liked. So they're not going to, if the person on the other end says no, they're going to just stop and they're not going to say anything. Even if they know that the person on the other end, their life will change if they, you know, decide to buy into their coaching program or anything like that, but they just stop. So Important again to have a look at what limiting beliefs are holding you back, because it is things like this that are holding you back from doing what you got to do in your business. And I often hear, you know, I wanted to do that, but I had to go and see my mum, but I had to go and feed the kids, but I had to do this for my children. And yes, we do have to do that, but there is no reason why we cannot plan our day to be able to do both. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. All these people that are successful don't have more hours than anyone else. It is just planning and organizing. So let's understand self-sabotage a little bit. First and foremost, you have to recognize, acknowledge, and accept that you have some of these habits. And it's okay, we've all got them. Okay, I have them, I recognize them all the time. Some days I go, oh, you know, what's going on for me today? So just recognize that you have self-sabotaging habits. You need to identify the root causes for the distractions. What's really going on? Because let me tell you, if you're jumping on Facebook for 2-3 hours a day instead of getting your work done, there's something going on. There's a reason why you're doing that and not getting your work done instead. So it's about understanding, recognizing, and working at it. Take time for self-reflection to understand what the real issue is. Really, really, really important. Because you can't change something you don't know. And then once you see what this real issue is, ask yourself if it's true. A lot of the time we fear things we don't know. And really when we break it down, it's not true. And the other night, at the moment, we're almost done for my 8-week Transform Your Money Frequencies. And we were talking and one of the girls said, now that I've said it out loud, you know, we were talking about one of her sabotaging behaviors, and when she goes, once I've now said it out loud, it actually sounds really silly. So it's amazing sometimes when you actually reflect, write it out or talk it out loud, how you realize it's not true. And it's just something that, you know, a thought process that's in your head. And because those thoughts create chemical reactions, you get slightly addicted to it. So you start to believe that it is true. The next one is, start some positive inner dialogue every single day. That's why I say start your morning right and give yourself some meditation, some nice way to start the day. Make sure you have a look at your planner, that you know what's on for the day, and then stick to it. And every time you feel like you're going to go down the rabbit hole of sabotage, you know, get up, go for a walk, have a cup of tea, go and have a drink of water, and then come and sit back on the computer. You should be doing that every 75 to 90 minutes anyway. Okay, change your pattern of behavior. It's very difficult at the beginning, but if we begin to change our patterns and we do a pattern interrupt, so, you know, one little change every day will create massive change. Because we're so used to being creatures of habit, some of these things have now become your habits. So waking up first thing in the morning, grabbing that phone and scrolling on Facebook is a habit now. But if you wake up tomorrow morning and you go, no, and I'm not saying this is going to be easy, because your body's going to want to do that because you've got that chemical reaction in your body to do that. So if you just push through that and go, no, I'm not doing that, you will begin to change your habits. So just one little habit at a time. Don't do too many at once because the unconscious mind can't deal with that. But change your habits and your patterns of behavior, and it will begin to change how you look at things and how you do things. So make small, meaningful changes daily, just small ones. It's very hard. The unconscious mind is a creature of habit, and if you make big changes every single day, it's very, very difficult. Set goals, really important. I read this morning only 3% of people actually set goals. Your unconscious mind needs clear, concise direction. This is why so many people do not achieve their goals. You should write them down, create vision boards, whatever you need. I have my goals on a massive whiteboard in front of me every single day. Make plans. Have a good planner. Plan out your day. Okay, have some flexibility. I have other webinars on this, so I'm not going to go into it. But, you know, make plans. Make sure you know what you have to do that day and stick to it. That's the important one. And you will feel like you don't want to stick to it again, because it's a biochemical reaction in your body. Whenever you're doing something that's different, the unconscious mind does not like it, because you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and it likes habit. So it will be uncomfortable, but just understand and recognize that. And just, you know, one of the things I like to do is I talk to my unconscious mind and go, it's okay. I'm not in any danger. Nothing's bad going to happen. It's just something different. Okay. Create a daily routine. I can't say this enough. In the mornings and even at night, create a daily routine. And you know what? It doesn't matter. I had someone, one of my clients say to me, I get bored after a couple of weeks. That's fine. For 2 weeks, you meditate. For 2 weeks, you journal, but create some form of routine for yourself. And the one thing that people never do is reward yourself once you've completed the task, because you know what? The unconscious mind will love that feeling, will love the biochemical reaction in the body of that feeling of the reward. And so the next time you sit down to do something else, it'll go, I want that feeling again. I want that feeling again. So it will actually, next time you sit down, it will help you be able to reach that potential a little bit more. So that's it for me today. I've gone slightly over time. Thank you again for being here. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I do have lots and lots of webinars that I have done on YouTube. I'm live on this webinar every single Monday morning at 10 a.m. Different topics, different business topics. I cannot remember next week's, unfortunately, because I set them so far ahead. But I look forward to seeing you there. Any questions, please reach out. You can either PM me on any of these Facebook, on any of these social media platforms, or please send me an email at admin@sandramadafferi.com.au. And feel free, if you would like any help with anything or understanding what's going on for you, reach out and we can organise a brainstorming session where we can identify the biggest problem that's holding you back and set some, you know, give you some great tools to get through it, and allow you to be able to, you know, work in your business every day feeling clear, confident, and knowing that you can get that job done. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. That's it for me today. I look forward to sending this through to you. Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye for now.